Hey, we're back. I'm TJ Weaver, Dr. Serge here. We were talking about aging in the world of
Aging.
nutrition. So, what do you got for me today?
Aging is really fascinating to me because a lot of people who come to us, that's what they want to do at the end of the day. And this is what we do is prevention. Make sure your body stays healthy as you get older.
Can't
Okay?
argue about nutrition.
And you can argue, and over time, unfortunately, with our lifestyle, the stress and the food that we eat, yeah, exactly, and you start having some issues.
Yes.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So when your body is talking to you with symptoms, that's how I see symptoms. When people come here with body aches and some different things going on, it's a light bulb that turns on. You have to do something to fix what's going on.
Yes.
Okay? So when it comes to aging, there's quite a bit of research that has been done over the last 20, 30 years. And there's one major pathway that plays a critical role in this. And this pathway is called TOR. T-O-R. Not Thor like the movie, right? But TOR, which is a protein that is in every animals on this planet. And it controls and regulates aging.
Really?
And really, really fascinating. So that's what I wanted to talk about today is how to maximize this pathway so you slow down aging.
Okay.
Okay? So there's a few things that affects this. One is insulin.
Ah,
Okay? Insulin, we've talked about it before.
absolutely. Sure.
When you eat sugar, you have insulin issue, and this insulin will activate TOR.
Ah, there's that sugar word again.
Okay, sugar. You see my point? Sugar is not so good. And we can have more explanation why sugar is not so good. And then you have this side, what we call leptin. I don't know if you heard of it. So this is another protein that controls hunger. So when you're hungry, your body makes more leptin, tells your brains to go eat.
Interesting.
Okay. Over time, the issue is because of our food choices, your body becomes resistant to leptin. I'm sure you've heard of insulin resistance.
Sure.
Insulin resistance leads to diabetes.
Yes.
So you have the same mechanism behind leptin. So when your body becomes resistant, your body makes leptin more and more and more. So you keep eating. You just eat and eat and eat and eat.
Boy, oh boy.
Leading to exactly. Now we know that weight problem, it's a leptin problem.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me ask you a question because there are those people that, almost literally, like coming out of the womb, they've always been big people. They've always been heavy people. They've always been large
Yes.
people. And it's
Yes.
literally, it's like they got the bad luck of the draw.
That's what they say, right?
Right.
But when we look back, it goes back to the mom's health.
Oh.
I mean, if the mom is heavier or having some issues, those issues will be transmitted to the kids. And I see that all the time. Actually, I had a little girl, 8 years old. She was diagnosed with thyroid issues.
My goodness.
And that problem went back to the mom and the grandmother. So the whole family had thyroid problem because the grandmother had thyroid problem when she was pregnant, and the moms and the kids. So when the kids are born or having issues at a young age, it's typically because they got it from the moms.
Wow.
Okay? So it's not bad genes. Again, it goes back to nutrition.
What they put in the mouth.
What they put in the mouth.
Unbelievable.
Okay, so these two pathways activate. I'm gonna put an arrow like this. Makes more TOR.
Okay.
There's another component of it is oxygen. Oxygen that we breathe
Yes.
inhibits TOR. Okay, so TOR. Let's talk about what TOR does in the body. Okay,
Sure.
TOR does a few things. One is it causes inflammation.
Mm-hmm. I know
Okay.
all about that.
More TOR there is in the body, more inflammation there is in the body.
Sure, sure.
Okay? And then this fascinating point is more TOR there is, more aging there is in the body. Okay? TOR leads to cancer. More TOR there is, more you are at risk to get cancer over time. Okay?
Okay.
And the last component is when there's toll in the body. It's called autophagy. I'm not going to write it down, but autophagy is a mechanism so where the body recycles all parts of the body. I'm sure at home you recycle the paper, the plastic, and the glass,
Sure.
and then the city comes, pick it up, and recycle.
Yes.
This is exactly what's going on with the body is when it's toll, autophagy is inhibited. So your body cannot recycle the all parts of the body because as you get older, those parts break down.
Yes.
And you get sicker. So the body is smart, so there's a mechanism, a way to recycle the old cell, the old tissues, and use it to repair the body.
Unbelievable.
Okay? So when there's told this is not happening. So there's two components you need to focus on. Is one is toll leads to more aging and inhibits this, which leads to more aging. So you accelerate aging.
Unbelievable.
So the question we need to ask is what we need to do to regulate toll. I said it at the beginning actually. Sugar. So when you eat sugar, you promote toll, which leads to aging, inflammation, cancer. And this component is there's two components to it. One is sugar. Again, it's connected to that. More sugar you eat, you have a lectin problem leading to all these issues.
This has got to be your next book. Sugar.
Sugar is a big topic.
Oof. Boy, oh boy.
And then we know that sugar, through insulin, through toll, leads to cancer.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard of that sugar feeds cancer.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So cancer is a big disease out there. We don't really fully understand how it works. But we know that sugar is part of this disease. So we know that if you have sugar, if you have cancer or you are at risk of getting cancer, sugar is something you need to cut out. That will lower toll, which will lower your risk of having cancer.
You would think that with all the cancer that's in the world, we as humans would get a whole lot better at what we're providing the world.
Yes.
You would think, okay, let's stop with this. Stop the insanity. You remember that old thing with
Yes.
the girl with the spiky blonde hair? Stop the insanity.
Yeah, yeah.
It's absolutely insane.
It's crazy. The problem is this has been known for 20, 30 years. But medical doctors are behind science like 30, 40 years. They are really behind and they are starting to realize there's something with toll today. And we've been fighting cancer for 50, 60 years.
Yes.
It's ridiculous. So what we need to do, especially when it comes to cancer, which is part of aging, because cancer arises when your body is sick over time. You get cancer 30, 40, 50 years later.
Right.
Okay? So cancer is a sugar issue, right? It is a metabolic issue at the end of the day. There was a doctor in Japan that asked this simple question. He wanted to know what was in common among all those different cancer. Because there's there's dozens of different types of cancer.
Sure.
So the question is, what is common among all of these? And there was one thing that he found that would cause cancer, all those cancers. Do you know what it was? It was mercury. Mercury. He found that mercury would cause all cancers.
Yes.
And you find mercury in fish, seafood, fillings, vaccines, and so on and so on.
Right.
So at the end of the day, cancer is a metabolic toxin issue. Toxins causes cancer. And then when you add sugar on top of it, it's like you add gas to the fire. Wow. You just have more cancer because you promote toll.
Jeez.
Okay? Toll, what happens when you have a lot of toll, it leads to more free radicals. Free radicals are made when your body burns fat and sugars and protein. So it's normal. You make free radicals. Free radicals promote oxidations. Like oxygen promote oxidation of iron. It gets rusty over time.
Right.
Right? It breaks down.
Yeah.
The same phenomenon. So free radicals leads to aging of the tissues.
Yes.
One of the first things that most of the time people tell me when we start working on this is the skin start looking better.
Yes.
Skin is a sign of aging. When you have wrinkles and skin spots, it's your body's just getting older, aging.
Yep.
And I see that all the time with people. The skin gets brighter. It glows.
Yes.
Looks better.
From taking your supplements regularly.
Exactly.
Getting yourself healthier. I've experienced that.
It's amazing. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. It's like, wow, I feel like I'm looking younger for some reason. Yeah.
Our skin problem is a problem from the inside.
Yeah.
When you fix the inside, it reflects on the skin.
Amazing.
Acne, eczema, all those rashes people have, it's all coming from the inside. So two things we need to remember from it. One is sugar, like we talked about. We need to cut out sugar so we can turn this off, which leads to decrease of aging, inflammation, and cancer. And that promotes autophagy, which recycles the all parts of the body. And they found out that the best way to help with this, to turn it off, it's fat.
Oh,
Let's talk about fat.
Here we
Okay?
go again.
So the best diet to slow down aging is a diet that is 70-80% fat.
Give me that bacon.
Okay? Eggs, bacon, cheese, all those fat foods.
Oh, I love that stuff.
Okay? If you get to this point, it turns this off. Slows down aging.
Wow.
That's why the keto diet is so popular right now. Yeah. Keto diet is about 90-95% fat,
Yes.
which is kind of extreme. You feel so much better on it. You don't have to go to that extreme as long as you get to this 70-80%.
That's amazing. Just
Okay.
amazing. Very popular diet.
It's an
Absolutely.
amazing diet. I do it. The problem with the keto diet, a lot of people do the junk keto diet, as I call it.
Yeah.
They eat junk food that are keto, but are not
But
quite
it's-
healthy for you.
Yeah, unhealthy.
Exactly.
Meats.
They eat
stuff.
processed food, processed meat, and so on.
Yeah.
Okay? So this is aging. Cut out the sugar, down regulate the insulin. Wheat, it's another big factor in this. Okay, every time you eat wheat, you have this insulin spike, leading to tall aging
Are we
and
talking about
inflammation.
gluten?
Gluten,
Okay,
correct. Okay, or grains in general.
Okay.
Okay,
Amazing.
regulate the leptin, which is again sugar, and make sure you have good oxygenation in your tissues.
Yes.
Working out, for example.
Yeah.
Okay. It's as simple as that. So the key is really tall this protein. You're
Never
gonna
heard of that before.
Yeah.
Heard of all this other stuff,
Yes.
but haven't never heard of that before.
you're gonna hear a lot more about this because medical doctors are starting today to see this is the key.
This is very
Okay.
fascinating stuff, and you heard it right here from Dr. Serge, the man. And you know, just wrote a book. We got to mention that. We got to mention our book. You know, we've got your CBD oils, we got Calm, we've got you coming out on NBC. But the book is something that I want to brag on. Is he wrote it in 7 days, and it involves a lot of.
What the book is about at the end of the day is the main factor or reason why people get sick.
Parasites.
It's a parasite issue. It's not. I'm not talking about food
Right, we're
much
talking
in
about
that
food,
book,
right.
but I talk about parasitic infestation.
Yes.
Again, it's part of that because when TOR is upregulated, your immune system is down,
For sure.
which that's why you have issues with inflammation and cancer. Okay.
Such a fascinating.
One last thing we need to focus or talk about when it comes to TOR is fasting. Fasting is a big topic out there.
Yes.
And do you know why?
For me, it's been a wonderful way to get into the losing weight world. And
A lot of people think about that for weight loss. It does work for weight loss as a side benefit. But fasting, what it does at the end of the day, it turns this protein off.
okay,
Fasting slows down aging.
amazing.
So when you use animals like rats and mouse and different animal models that they use in the lab and they fast them, they cut back the calories, they live 20, 30, 40% longer.
Amazing.
So fasting at the end of the day, it's a switch that turns this off.
That is amazing.
And that's why it's so popular and you feel so good because what happens at the end of the day, if fasting promotes autophagy. So you get rid of the old tissues
Yeah.
and heal the body so you
I
feel
can see that.
younger.
I can see that.
Okay? And the best way to fast is, I think that's what you do as well, is what we call the 16-8.
Yes.
So you fast for 16 hours and you eat your foods over 8 hours.
And then making sure that our first meal
It's
out of
protein.
the intermittent is we make sure that we eat the right protein.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. So there's different ways to do fasting, right? Me personally, I skip breakfast. I know when I tell that to
Me too.
people, it's like, why? Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
Not really.
Not really. Actually, breakfast is maybe the worst meal of the day for some people.
Right.
Okay? Because what happens is your body detoxes in the morning.
Yes.
Okay? So if you add calories to your body, you actually slow down the detox.
Isn't that amazing?
Okay? So me, I skip breakfast and I eat from 1 to 9 o'clock.
That's great. And, you know, I've always told people, if you want to eat breakfast, just eat it at 1 or eat it at 2 when you come off your 16
Sometimes that's what
hours.
I do.
I mean, if you're a protein person and you love eggs, well, then make that your first meal when you come off your intermittent fasting.
Don't get me wrong. There's some people, because of different health issues, they have to eat breakfast. That's okay. So you may want to try to skip dinner or don't eat at night.
Sure.
So there's different ways to do it. And typically I tell people, ease into it. Don't go into 16 hours.
Yes.
Do maybe 12 hours and then 13, like build it up to 16.
Because you're not going to last.
You're not going to last,
Yeah.
and with the sugar issue, sometimes people
Yeah.
crash, they have problems.
Right.
So a question that I have a lot is, when I fast, can I drink coffee, for example?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Coffee is fine. Okay, it doesn't break the fast. I recommend actually to add fat to your coffee. Do the bulletproof coffee.
Okay.
You can add butter to it, coconut. That will not break the fast. Actually, fat, like I said, turns this off. It helps the
I
fast.
understand.
Okay, but besides that, some people will say juice. Juice is calories. It's sugar.
Yeah.
So that would turn this on. So don't do
Right,
that.
so stay
Okay.
off of that, yeah.
Coffee is fine. Water is fine. Bone broth. Some people fast with bone broth,
Gotcha.
which is fine. But besides that, it's all calories, and it will break the fast and
You
affect
don't
this.
want any calories in your body when you're intermittent fasting. Yeah.
Correct. Except fat.
Right, except
Okay,
fat. Right,
correct.
right. I got you. Very interesting stuff, man. You heard it here with the man, Dr. Serge. Well, this is great stuff. This is a very new topic that I did not know about, and that's what's so great about getting a chance to do this with you. I learn more and more and more things.
And yeah, at the end of the day, that's what I tell people with my clients in my office is, eat more fat, less carbs. I don't explain to them why,
Right.
but at the end of the day, that's what it means.
Yes, that's what it means.
Okay.
It's very interesting stuff, and I tell you, it's the more we can get this information out to people, I think the better the world's going to be, man. I
Yeah,
really do
exactly.
believe that here. So look out for us on all different forms of media. I mean, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on all the goodies. Dr. Serge does a lot of podcast type things. He has his own podcast on iTunes and wherever you find podcasts. It's Dr. Serge, Nutrition Scientist, right?
Correct.
And you also can come see us here at Mind and Body Solutions at 210 Genesis Boulevard, Suite C. Yes, that's 77598, where you can call in. As normally, put anything at the bottom of these Search for Truth if you have any questions. We'll always be there to answer them. And be sure to look out for us on Channel 2 coming up soon, Dr. Serge. He's the man.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
Anytime.
usual.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Good.